Council, are we ready for opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Dixon here on behalf of the petitioner, Mr. Kori Knight. Your Honor, this is a 28-year marriage where the parties have shared a wonderful and beautiful life together. However, unfortunately, that life has come to an end, and that's what brings us before the court today. Your Honor, Mr. Knight and Mrs. Knight share a marital home in Cobb County, in which the marital home is appraised at, I believe, $538,000 today. They own the home outright, Your Honor, and Mrs. Knight has not worked. She's been a stay-at-home wife and mom. Obviously, their child has aged out since.
I'm sorry, Council. You'll have your chance to speak. I'm gonna ask you to be quiet. Okay. Thank you.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Knight has been a stay-at-home wife for the majority of the marriage. Mrs. Knight currently has an alimony claim against my client, and she also has an adultery claim against my client. However, Your Honor, we are arguing the rule of condemnation in this matter, being that the parties, while there was adultery committed prior and during the marriage, the parties did reconcile and proceeded throughout their marriage as a loving and happy couple. Your Honor, we are alleging that Mrs. Knight has committed acts of physical abuse against my client.
One more time. If I tell you again, ma'am, it's gonna be a real problem.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Just taking an emotional toll on me, hearing everything that and thinking about everything he's done. I'm sorry.
Wow. I told her to be quiet. She won't be quiet, so just go ahead.
Thank you, baby.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Yes, Your Honor. In case you didn't hear me, Your Honor, Mrs. Knight has an adultery claim against our client. She is also seeking alimony. We are arguing condemnation in this matter, as while there was adultery prior, years prior, very long ago, that isn't relevant at this time as the parties reconciled, and they've been living as a happy couple ever since that time, obviously until the point of divorce. We are also arguing against the alimony claim. Mrs. Knight, while she has been a stay-at-home mom, she does have an earning capacity. She used to work. She worked for some time during the marriage, and she can go back into the workforce, Your Honor, and earn her own living. Excuse me, Your Honor, I apologize.
So, I'm sorry, I've asked you, I'll remove you from the courtroom next time you make any motions or talk to your ex, please. She's not your ex, but she will be, so stop. Did you hear what I said?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Your Honor, we are also arguing that Mrs. Knight has committed acts of physical abuse against my client. There was an incident that occurred and the police were called. We have a police report to present before the court today, Your Honor. We are arguing that the house should be equitably divided between the parties, with Mr. Knight receiving 60% of the equity in the home and Mrs. Knight receiving 40% of the equity of the home. We are asking for 60 to 90 days to refinance the home. We are asking that her claim for alimony be denied in this matter, as she does have an earning capacity, Your Honor, and that her adultery claim be denied as well.
Who is this back here? Ma'am?
This is signed.
What's your business with the court?
Your Honor,
I am the future Mrs. Knight.
Your Honor, I would invoke the rule of sequestration, please.
Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to step outside. It sounds like you'll be called as a witness today. Counsel here is invoking the rule. That means I need you to step outside. You're not gonna be able to